A Little House Chapter Book, Pioneer Sisters. Chapter 5. Fire. The prairie began to change. The green grass turned yellow, and the yellow grass turned brown. The wind wailed like someone crying. Fall had come. The weather was cooler now. Pa cut firewood down at the creek. He stacked it against the house. There was enough wood to last all winter. Down by the creek the trees were changing colors. The leaves turned red and yellow and brown. One afternoon a fierce wind blew in. It was too cold to play outside any more. Ma called Mary and Laura into the house. She built up the fire and pulled the rocking chair close to it. Ma took baby Carrie into her lap. She sat rocking, singing softly to the baby. "Buy low, baby bunting, Papa's gone a-hunting, to get a rabbit skin, to wrap the baby bunting in." Suddenly Laura heard a crackling noise. It was coming from the chimney. Ma stopped singing. She looked up inside the chimney. Then she got up quietly and handed the baby to Mary. She pushed Mary down into the rocker and hurried out of the house. Laura ran after her. They stared up at the chimney. It was on fire. The sticks that made it were burning up. The fire roared in the wind. It was about to spread to the roof. Ma grabbed a long pole. She struck and struck at the roaring fire. Burning sticks fell all around her. Laura didn't know what to do. She grabbed a pole too, but Ma told her to stay away. The roaring fire was terrible. It could burn the whole house down, and there was nothing Laura could do. She ran into the house. Burning sticks and coals were falling down the chimney. The house was full of smoke. A big blazing stick rolled onto the floor right under Mary's skirt. Mary was so scared she couldn't move. Laura grabbed the back of the heavy rocking chair. She pulled with all her might. The chair, with Mary and Laura in it, slid backwards on the floor. In a flash Laura grabbed up the burning stick. She threw it into the fireplace just as Ma came in. "Good girl, Laura," Ma said. She took the water pail and poured water on the fireplace. Clouds of steam rose up. The fire was out. Ma turned to Laura. "Did you burn your hands?" she asked. She looked at Laura's palms. They weren't burned. Laura had been too fast for that. Laura was too big to cry. Only one tear ran out of each eye, and her throat choked up. But that wasn't crying. She hid her face against Ma and hung on tight. Ma stroked Laura's hair. "Were you afraid?" she asked. "Yes," Laura said. "I was afraid Mary and Carrie would burn up. I was afraid the house would burn up and we wouldn't have any house." Mary told Ma how Laura had pulled the chair away from the fire. Ma was surprised. Laura was so little and the chair was so big and heavy. With Mary and Carrie in it, it was even heavier. Ma said she didn't know how Laura had done it. "You were a brave girl, Laura," she said. But Laura had really been terribly scared. "And no harm's done," Ma said. "The house didn't burn up, and Mary's skirts didn't catch fire and burn her and Carrie, so everything is all right." When Pa came home from hunting and the house was cold, the wind was roaring over the stone part of the chimney. The tall stick part had all burned away. But Pa said he would build up the chimney with green sticks that wouldn't burn. He'd plaster it well so it would never catch fire again. He gave Ma the 4 fat ducks he had shot. Then he went whistling outside to cut green sticks for the new chimney. Soon a new fire crackled merrily, and the warm smell of cornbread filled the house. Ma cleaned the ducks and put one to roast on the hearth. Everything was snug and cozy again.